Harmony and burnout, two things that you wouldn't often expect to hear together in the title of a video. But I want to bring forth a conversation today about how the woman who is experiencing burnout can recover from burnout and return to harmony. You see, harmony is a word I love because it is less pressure than what I feel the word balance brings into the conversation. And today I want to talk to those of you who are feeling like I just am at my edge. I've hit my capacity and I'm totally burnt out. And I'm going to give you two simple, clear, and compassionate ways for you to really come back to harmony within yourself and start to recover. There's going to be a few journal prompts, so if you're ready, please join me. The first thing is when you start to feel ill in the body, right? The body is always talking. So knowing that you've hit this wall of burnout isn't always necessarily, oh, I had this giant emotional breakdown. Maybe you're physically starting to get ill. Maybe, you're just starting to feel clouded and foggy brain. And so I want you to pay attention to what's physically happening in the body, not just emotional, but physical symptoms will start to manifest themselves a lot of the time when we are starting to hit burnout. In my own experience, as a wife, as a mom, as somebody who is a very busy entrepreneur, hustling out, doing all the different things, taking care of everyone else, I often spent a lot of time sick. And so my physical body was sending me messages and signals constantly that I was hitting my wall, I was at my capacity. And the more we refuse to acknowledge those and accept that maybe we've hit our edge, the harsher the symptoms are going to get. So burnout can manifest itself physically. It can also be these emotional breakdowns where you feel like you just can't get a grasp on your nervous system and everything feels too heavy, too overwhelming. If this is you, the first thing we have to get clear on is, where am I leaking my energy? Because it's not always caused by doing too much. It's about what is misaligned, what is not working, what is not serving you, what is not giving back. And those are often the commitments, the conversations, the emotional labor, routines. And so the question you need to ask yourself right here, right now, is, where am I giving more than I am receiving? Where am I not supported? Where am I operating? I'm so excited. Where am I operating from obligation instead of from my intuitive, intentional, aligned, creative, passionate, willful desire? When you seal these leaks, naturally, the energy is going to start to be replenished. And I want to give an example. So we're in the holiday season, we're in chaos, and you're saying yes to all the commitments, all the invitations, all the parties, all the, yeah, I could bring this, or yeah, we could do that, or, let's invite these people, let's do this thing. And the reality is that we all have the same 24 hours in the day. And maybe what you really need, right? When you sit with yourself, when you wake up in the morning, you're like, man, I really just need a night at home. The less time we honor those intuitive hits where we're like, yeah, I really just need a night at home. I need to honor myself. I need to have somebody bring me dinner. The more we're going to feel burnout. So this is a very interesting question, but if your burnout had a dollar amount, what would you stop spending on it? Like, if you could say, oh, my burnout is $1,000, what would you stop spending that $1,000? Like, is there $100 you could take away from that? And then where would you put that $100 instead? Just kind of think about it in those terms. And I like putting it that way because it's sometimes hard to identify the energy leaks. But if you start looking at your energy as a currency, like money is a currency, and you start to see, wow, I'm spending. Where am I getting? it kind of maybe it will help you think about it a little bit different, because the thing is money is a currency, it's an energy, it's a renewable thing. So is your energy, so is your burnout. Your burnout is something that can be renewed, but you have to treat it like a renewable resource and energy, and you have to start putting back into yourself. So think about that. The second thing here, which is also super, super important, is you have to start setting boundaries that honor your capacity. And I know like boundaries is like this big buzzword and everyone's kind of like, ah, but I want you to think about boundaries with compassion. And the ones that say, my well-being matters, my peace matters, my nervous system is dysregulated, and I need to honor my nervous system. And so what would it look like to just protect your peace in a different way? Because a boundary is just you simply choosing yourself with clarity instead of guilt. It's saying, I need to step back and I need to just protect my peace. I need to protect my energy. I need to come back to myself. So it's not about creating aggressive boundaries. It's not about being rude or mean. It's just saying, I matter. And what I can offer is limited. And I'm not available for everyone all the time. Sometimes for me, it looks like just even turning my phone off. One of my favorite things to do, quite honestly, is get lost somewhere where I have no cell service. So I literally have a restaurant that I know I can go to for dinner, and it's inexpensive dinner and there's no cell service. And so even if I was tempted, I don't have service there. Going on a hike in nature, I know I'm going to probably lose cell service at some point. So losing yourself in somewhere that nourishes your soul, somewhere that you feel like you're giving back, right? All right. So I have a couple journal prompts. I'm going to throw them out there. Take what resonates, take what feels really nourishing and yummy, and get curious about these. And if you don't like it, don't worry about it. So, number one, where am I leaking energy right now? Where are you leaking energy? Get curious. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge the other people. Just where am I overgiving? Where am I highly functioning? Where am I holding on to responsibilities that I no longer need to? Where am I leaking my energy right now? Could be like an emotional loop, a thought, right? I often get stuck in my head with these emotional loops and thoughts and desires and dreams, and I get stuck. And sometimes all it takes for me is to say, oh my God, I'm giving so much energy to this imaginary scenario or like this idea that I have for work that is not yet, the timing is off. So it's not yet time for me to bring this to fruition. And so if I can take what's going on in my mental, right? The mental energy leak, the suck. And for me, what really works is getting it out on paper, being like, okay, here are the things I know. It's just not the right time. And so if I can kind of get it out of my head onto paper, that can be really beneficial. Because I think a lot of times people are like, just let it go. And it's like, how do I let go of like the loop that is forever unfolding in my mind? For me, getting it out on paper, making a list, maybe it's a pros and cons list, maybe it's an action item list, maybe it's a SWOT analysis or a SMART goals list. But getting it out on paper so that it's like, I just start to free the mental space. Journaling is like one of my favorite tools for that. All right, the second journal question: what expectations am I carrying that no longer feel aligned? This is something that I'm constantly working through. I think there's a lot of societal expectations that are put on us, a lot of conditioning that is put on us. And so who am I trying to satisfy by saying yes and doing all these things? And where can you set down this pressure with so much love, with so much compassion for yourself, for the other person, and just see where you can get more aligned with like, what am I doing versus what am I doing because someone else is expecting it, or I'm afraid of disappointing somebody. Okay. Third journal prompt: what would feel nourishing today instead of productive? Now, I love this one because I, as a manifesting generator, love being productive. But the fact is sometimes I need to slow down and nourish. So if this resonates with you, I have created a reset download. And if you comment on this video, reset, or send me a DM or an email, I have a nervous system regulation meditation that I've created for you. It's free, it can be in your pocket. And I believe it is the most nourishing tool because it really does offer the opportunity for us to settle our nervous system, to calm down, and come back to the self. And it's a small, very approachable, doable, honest, clean, clear way to just give yourself a beat. So what other things would be nourishing? Going to a yoga class, saying like, maybe I'm not going to tackle everything on my to-do list. Maybe I'm just going to itemize like the things that absolutely have to get done. And then I'm going to shut my laptop and chill out. Maybe it's binge watching Netflix. I don't know what it is for you. Going on a walk, calling a girlfriend, going to happy hour, getting a glass of tea. Like, what do you need that would make you feel really good? Maybe it is my nervous system reset, which if you just type reset in the comments, we'll make sure you get that over to you. All right. I have one more journal prompt for you. This one is, where does my body whisper no, but my mouth says yes? This is something that I get caught in all the time. And one of my favorite responses when somebody asks me something, and I teach this to my clients all the time, and so this is a free little yummy nugget for you, is when somebody asks me something in a text, in an email, on the phone, in person, does not matter. I say, oh my God, that sounds so amazing. Right now it's a yes. Let me sit with it and I'll get back to you. Because we are eager to please. We are eager to show up. And so if we can just say, yeah, like that in this moment, that sounds great, but let me sit with it. Let me check my calendar. Let me check in with my family. Let me check in and make sure that that's really aligned for me. Like, you get to take that beat. The other thing I want to offer you today is, if you're experiencing burnout and you're looking to come into harmony, you need to start making peace with changing your mind and honoring the fact that you get to change your mind. So it may have been a yes last week. You may have sat with it, and now today you're not feeling it. It's a no today. Honor that. That is your body trying to protect your peace. So if this video is helpful, beneficial, if you enjoyed it, I would love to invite you to to subscribe, to come back. We're going to be talking about emotional healing. There's going to be yummy meditations and yogas. We're going to talk about alignment, identity, and I cannot wait to be with you on this beautiful journey, this one epic, adventurous, loving, powerful life that we get to live. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.